Hello. Guys, can you hear me? Kumar, Priyanka, Srinivas.
Yes, sir.
Hey guys, please. Okay. I assume we took the first class of networking yesterday, and can anyone recall what was the last point I discussed in the session yesterday? Where did I stop? Did we talk about public and private IPs, guys, in the last class? What are public IPs? What are private IPs? Priyanka, Kumar, I guess you were there in the class yesterday, guys. Can you tell me, I mean, what was the last topic we discussed in the session yesterday?
That's IPv4 range.
Okay, we talked about
public and private, yeah.
Okay, we completed up to this point, I guess. I have to go with classes today, right? What are classes? And okay, cool. Right. Okay, let's just wait for 2 more minutes and we'll start the session. In the meanwhile, if anyone has any questions also, you can let me know from the previous class or regarding anything related to cybersecurity. Okay. Priyanka, is Vaid going to be joining today by any chance?
Yeah, I'm calling him, but he is not picking phone. I'm in India and he is in Australia.
Yeah, I know. You informed me yesterday about that. Just wanted to know.
Yeah,
no problem. We'll start the class. Guys.
Different timing. Yeah, I think he was sleeping.
No problem. No problem. I understand. Again, time zones is an issue, definitely. So yeah, we'll start the class slowly, guys, as students progress. Again, I'll clarify if you have any questions. Okay. So in today's class, we're gonna talk about the classes. So if you remember yesterday, I mentioned the whole range of IP addresses. You have the first IP 0000, and that goes up to the last IP 255, 255, 255, 255. Now, each of these IPs that you have in the complete range from 0 to 255 are divided in 5 categories called classes. There's class A, B, C, D, and E. And again, in each of those classes, we have something called public and private IP subcategorization. We learned about public and private IPs yesterday. Today, we're going to talk about these classes. Okay, what do you mean by these classes and how each IP is different in each class? Okay, so again, they have specific ranges, guys, for each class, and these ranges will never change. You have to remember these numbers. Okay, these have been fixed by the people who invented IP addresses, and again, they're constant. As mentioned, they will never change. They are going to remain the same ranges for the rest of eternity. So class A starts at the first IP 0000, and it goes up to the last IP 127.255.255.255. If class A is ending here at 127.255.255.255, what's the next IP, guys? Class B starts at 128.0.0.0. So all the 255s cycle back to zeros, and the 127 increments by 1. That changes to 128. Just a second, guys. Apparently some students are not getting access. Just a minute, guys. Give me 1 second. Some people are facing issue with the Zoom. The GoTo link apparently. Let me create another link as well. So sorry for this. Just give me 1 minute. Shouldn't take longer than that. Okay. Yeah, let's continue, guys, from where we left off. As mentioned, we have 5 separate classes: class A, B, C, D, and E, and each of these classes has its own range. So class A starts at 0, 0, 0, 0, and goes up to 127, 255, 255, 255. Since it is ending at 127, class B starts at 128, 0, 0, 0. From 128, it goes up to the value 191, 255, 255, 255. Since it is ending at 191, class C starts at 192.0.0.0. From 192, it goes up to 223, 255, 255, 255. Since it is ending at 223, class D starts at 224.0.0.0. And from 224, it goes up to 239, 255, 255, 255. Okay. And since it is ending at 239, class E starts at 240. From 240, it goes up to last IP, 255, 255, 255, 255. So if you notice over here, on the left side, in the starting ranges, you have all zeros in the last 3 octets. That is common. And in the last range, in the ending range, you have all 255s in the last 3 octets. So the only numbers you have to remember, guys, are these 4 numbers: 127, 191, 223, 239. Because from these numbers, you automatically get the next class's initial range. So 0 to 127, 128 to 191, 192 to 223, 224 to 239, and 240 to 250. So these are the ranges for each class, A, B, C, D, and E respectively. Now in each class, again, as mentioned, there's a subcategory: public IP and private IP, right? 1 second. Amir, can you hear me? Am I audible? Mohammed Amir. Connected on Zoom. Mohammed, can you hear me? Hello. Okay, assuming you can hear me. Now, as mentioned, guys, proceeding forward. Now, in each class, again, there's a set of public IPs and private IPs. So in class A, so if I draw this out, guys, just in case if the categorization is still not clear. So this is how the whole IPv4 range is divided. So let's assume if this is the huge box which contains all the 4.3 billion IPs. So from the first IP till the last IP. Let's say if this is the whole IPv4 range, IPv4 addresses. Okay, from the first one 0000 up to the last one 255, 255, 255, 255. So if this huge box represents that complete range, then this huge box is now divided into 5 smaller boxes, which are called as classes. So there's class A, there's class B, there's class C, there's class D, and then there's class E. Again, in each of these classes, again, you have a subcategorization. So this is class A here, this is class B here, this is class C, this is class D, and this is class E. And in each class, you have some public IPs and some private IPs. Similarly, class B also, you have some public IPs and some private IPs. And similarly in class C, some public IPs and some private IPs. Public, private, public, and private. But in class D and class C, you do not have any private IPs. All of them are public itself. So this image might give you a better understanding of how the whole 4.3 billion IPs are divided. You have again 5 separate boxes which are called as classes, and in each class again you have a public and a private IP. Public and private, public and private, public. Again in first 3 public and private, and in the last one only public. Okay, is that clear? Kumar, Priyanka, Shikhar, Srinivas. Any questions regarding this?
No questions.
Perfect. Now coming again, you already know the ranges for each class, guys, for class A, B, C, D, and E. Now let's talk about the ranges for the public and private IPs. So now let me stop the annotation. Now in class A, as mentioned, from 0 to 127, this is the complete range of class A IPs. Now in that complete range, there's a small subset, as mentioned, from 10,000 to 10,255,255,255. This is the private IP range in class A. Any IP within this range is a private IP, and any IP outside this range will always be a public IP by default. Similarly, in class B also, between 128 and 191, there's a small range 172.16.00 to 172.31.255.255. This is the private IP range in class B. Any IP within this range is a private IP, and any IP outside this range will be a public IP. Similarly, in class C as well, from 192.000 to 223.255.255.255, there's a small range 192.168.00 to 192.168.255.255. This is the private IP range in class C. Any IP within this range is a private IP, and any IP outside this range is a public IP. Again, just a quick recap, what are public and private IPs? Public IPs are the IPs present with the internet service provider. They are used to give you connectivity to the internet, to give you an internet connection. Private IPs are the IPs which you can use in your local network, in your home network, on your small offices, when you want to connect all your computers or all your phones to the router. All of these devices need a private IP. So the private IPs are the IPs used in the intranet, in the local network. Okay. So now, to elaborate on this division, guys, let's take the example of one class. So we take the example of class A. Class A starts at 0000 and ends up to 127, 255, 255, 255. I have written that same exact range here from 0.0.0.0 all the way up to 127, 255, 255, 255. This is the complete class A range. Now in that complete class A range, there's a small category of private IPs. So there's a small set here from 10,000 to 10,255, 255, 255. This is the private IP range. Any IP within this is a private IP which you can use in your internal local network. And any IP outside this range is a public IP. So outside this, in the sense, from 0000 up to 9255.255.255. So this is the first set of public IPs, because after 9255.255.255 begins 10. So this is private IP again. And after 10, 255.255.255, we have 11. So from 11.0.0.0 up to 127, this is the other public IP range. So in every class A, B, and C, you would have this similar scenario. There's one class with, again, the complete range for the class, in which you have a set of private IP, and then there are two sets of public IPs, one on either side. Okay, so this is how each IP is being, each class is being divided, okay, into public and private. Is that clear? Priyanka, any questions? Shikhar, Srinivas, Kumar? Guys, please do let me know if you don't understand something, because again, these topics might seem a bit tough to understand the first time if you're new to the domain of networking. So, okay, Kumar says no questions. Priyanka, any questions? Priyanka,
No,
you
sir.
okay. Right, Shikhar also mentioned no questions. Srinivas, any questions on your end?
No, sir.
Perfect. Now, what I'm going to do is we'll perform a small exercise here. I'm going to write down 10 random IPs, and I want you to look at these ranges here, which I mentioned, and then you have to give me the answer of which IP belongs to which class and whether they are public or private IPs. Okay, don't worry, I'm going to give the answers for a few of them myself, just so that you understand the concept. And then I want you to participate and give me the answers for the others. Okay, let me write down a couple IPs first: 10.20.30.40, 192.165.10.20, 172.35.45.55, 7, 150, 152, 162, 72, 85, 61, 70, 7. Okay, so I've written down a couple IPs here, guys. Now, look at this first number, 10.20.30.40. So look at the first octet here. It says 10. I hope the screen is visible, guys. If you want, I can zoom in a bit. Okay, I hope it is much more clearer now. So look at this first number, 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, so if you notice that this number here, 10, 20, 30, 40, the first octet says 10 here. Now, when you look at that first octet, you can figure out which range is it falling under, or which class is it falling under. Is it between 0 and 127? Definitely, it's between 0 and 127. So therefore, this is a class A IP address. If you look at this, yeah, class A, perfect. Okay, and then yeah, Kumar, correct answer actually. Kumar Rathakari has given the correct answer. And again, if you look at now, once you know that it belongs to class A, guys, you have to look at this range here. Is it falling inside this category? So the first octet should be 10, and the remaining numbers can be anything from 0 to 255 is what it says. So here the first octet is 10, and the remaining numbers are between 0 and 255. So therefore, this is definitely a private IP. So if it falls within this range, it's a private IP. Looking at the next one, 192, 165, 10.20. So the first number 192, where does it fall under? It is over here. Okay, so this is a class C IP address. And in class C now, if you look at the first number, that's 192, that's perfectly fine. Second number is 165, but for it to be a private IP, first number should be 192, second number should be 168, and the other two octets can be anything between 0 and 255. But for us, the first number is 192 and second number is 165, which means it's outside this range. And since it is outside that range, this is a public IP, right? Correct answer again, Kumar. So can you give me the answer for the next one, guys? Priyanka, Kumar, Shikhar, Srinivas. 172. 35, 45, 55. Which class does it belong to, guys? A, B, C, D, or E? Any answers? Perfect answer, Kumar. Let's wait for the others as well. Yes, Srinivas, go ahead.
Class B.
Class B, correct answer. Why is this class B, guys? Because the number is 172. Where does 172 fall under? Between 128 and 191. So this is a class B IP. Perfect. Now, is this public or private, guys? Yeah, correct answer, Shikhar. Any answers? Public or private? Again, one of the fellow students has given the answer saying that this is a public IP. But why again, can anyone tell me why is this a public IP? If you observe here, first number is 172, that is fine. Second number should be between 16 and 31. But here what we have is 35. So therefore this is outside that range and hence it is a public IP. Is that clear? Kumar and Priyanka?
Yes, sir.
Right. Priyanka, can you give me the next answer? 192.168.0.7.
Class C.
Class C, perfect.
Yeah. And then private.
Perfect answer. Next one, Kumar, can you give me the answer for the next one? 142, 152, 162, 172. Kumar, any answers for this one? Or Shikhar, you can also give me
public.
Class B and public. Perfect answer. Okay, Shikhar, can you give me the answer for the next 225, 245, 62.51? Srinivas, there's some background disturbance from your end. I guess some kids are playing around or something. Yeah, perfect answer, Shikhar. Class D. And this is a public IP. Correct. Shikhar, can you, sorry, not Shikhar. Srinivas, can you give me the answer for the next one? Srinivas. 245, 255, 255, 255.
To class B, I think.
Class B, are you sure?
Class B.
Class
D.
D. D
Yes.
for I hope you're looking at the correct number, Srinivas. 245, 255,
255.
Yeah, 245. Which class?
I think class
D is
E.
24 to
Class
239.
Yes.
Class E is from 240 to 255. And 245 yes. Definitely falls between 240 and 255. So therefore, this is a class E
class
IP.
C.
So class E, and in class E, all IPs are public IPs. So this is a public IP. Don't get confused, guys. Okay, might seem a bit confusing first, but again, with practice, you'll get it right. Again, anyone who can answer me the next one? 192.178.0.7. Hi, Amber.
Class C. Class C, private type.
Class C, private. Are you sure?
Private.
Look at
Yes,
the range.
sure.
192, 178, 178.07. 192 is matching.
Yes.
But for it to be private, second number should be 168 to 168.
Yes.
But here it's 178. Are you sure it is private or public? Srinivas.
Public.
It's a public IP. Yeah, I mean, carefully observe, guys. I've written some confusing IPs just so that you look at the ranges and answer. Again, Srinivas, can you give me the answer for the next one? Carefully observe. 172. Which class?
B.
Perfect.
Private type.
Public or private?
Private.
Correct answer. Next one. Priyanka, can you give me the answer for this one? 172, 172, 172, 172.
72.
Priyanka Rajput.
Yes, sir. Class B.
Class B, perfect answer. Public or private?
Public.
Correct answer. Okay. Hi, Amir, can you hear me? Am I audible? Hello, Amir. I hope I'm
Yes.
audible to you. Hey, Amir.
This is
11, 12, 13, 14. Which class does it
B.
belong? 11. Again, look at the ranges here.
Yeah, the
0
range is 11.12.13. So
to
this
14.
will
Yeah.
be
Which
class B.
class? Class
Class
B.
B.
But class B starts at 128 if you notice here.
Okay. So that's okay. Okay, class B start from 120. Yeah. So it should be class A.
Correct answer. Correct. Class A. Now, is this public or private?
So how do you private address range 10.00. Okay,
Yeah.
to
For it to be private, the first
so
number should be 10. And the
okay,
second number, third number, fourth number can be anything from 0 to 255.
okay.
But here, the first number is 11. So which means it is not a private IP. It's not falling
So
within
public.
this range. If it's outside
Okay.
that range, it's a public IP. Okay. Right. Next number, guys. Kumar, can you give me the answer for the last one? 42, 193, 252, 193.
Class A.
Class A.
Public.
Public IP. Correct. So yeah, this is how, guys, you categorize which IP belongs to which class, and again, whether it's public or private IP. Again, you have to remember these ranges, guys. As long as you're working with IP addresses, you will have to remember this 8 lines of data, because in a lot of log files that we'll be accessing in the upcoming classes, you see IP addresses recurrently. So when you look at an IP, you have to figure out whether it's a public IP or a private IP and which category or which class it belongs to. I guess I've not shown you how to verify your system's public and private IP yesterday. Let me talk about it today. So if you want to check your system's public IP, you can go to your browser. Where is my browser? Yeah, here. And in my browser, I can search for what is my IP. And when I search for that here, it shows me my public IP. So this is the IP which is being provided to me by my ISP. If I want the ISP details, I can click on this website, whatismyipaddress.com, and this tells me that my ISP is Beam Telecom. Beam, in the sense, in India, it's Act Hibernate. Okay. So again, it shows my region as which city I'm located in, which region it is, which country it is. So this is the ISP's IP which is being provided to me to connect to the internet. Now, can you look at this IP and tell me which class is it falling under, guys? I hope the IP is visible here. Uh-oh, just a second. Yeah, I hope it's visible now. Can you look at this IP here, 49.204.239.123, and tell me whether it's public or private, and which class it belongs to? Yeah, someone gave an answer actually. Ahmed, was it you? Yeah, correct answer, class A. Okay, and if you notice, it is definitely not falling in this range from 10.000 to 10.255.255.25. It's outside that range, which means if it is outside, it's a public IP for sure, right? And if you want to check your private IP, on the other hand, you can open up command prompt CMD. So you can just search for CMD, and that shows you an output like command prompt here, an option called command prompt. Run it as admin, or you can even double click on it. Anything works. And here you can run a command called ipconfig, which stands for IP configuration. And now when you hit enter, it shows you your private IP here. Right now I'm connected on my Wi-Fi adapter, and from that Wi-Fi adapter, I'm getting the IP 192.168.0.7. This is the IP here, 192.168.0.7. Now, can you look at this IP and tell me which class it belongs to, guys? 192.168.0.7.
Yeah. Class C, private.
Class C, private. Correct answer, Priyanka. Again, if you notice, you have actually given the answer for this in our examples, guys. 192.168.0.7 is a Class C IP, and it's a private IP. So in your command prompt, you see your private IPs, and in your browser, you can see the public IP. I hope this is clear for everyone, what public IPs are, what private IPs are, and what are the five ranges for each of these classes and public and private IPs. So again, today, I hope everyone can look at the range and classify or verify which IP belongs to which category. But in the future, guys, I would recommend that you remember these ranges by heart. Okay, so as soon as you look at an IP, you have to figure out which class it belongs to and whether it's public or private. Okay, now comes the main question. Why do we have 5 separate classes, and what does this class mean by it? So what do you mean by class A? What do you mean by class B? What do you mean by class C? Okay, what is the difference actually? Why do we have 5 classes? Why not just one single class with some public and private IPs? Why make it so complicated with 5 different classes? So the reason why you have 5 classes, guys, is because each class has a different range of networks and hosts in it. So let me explain that in a bit. But remember, class A has 1 network portion and 3 host portions. Class B has 2 network portions and 2 host portions. Class C has 3 network portions and 1 host portion. Class D and Class E have all network portions itself. There are no host portions in them. So as you're progressing down the line, network portions are increasing in number. Class A has 1 network portion, Class B has 2 network portions, Class C has 3 network portions, Class D and Class E have 4 network portions. And that is how they are unique from each other. Okay. Now, what are these network portions and host portions? To understand that, let's take the example of Class C first, where in Class C, you have 3 network portions and only 1 host portion. Okay. So in Class C, the first private IP starts at 192.168.0.0. This is the first private IP in Class C. And that is the same IP which I've written down here, if you notice. So in Class C, which has 3 network portions and 1 host portion, the first IP is 192.168.0.0. Next IP after 00, what occurs next, guys? Then you have 01, next 02, next 03, next 04. This goes on all the way up to 0255. What happens after 0255? This 255 cycles back to 0, and the next 0 changes to 1. We learned the sequence in the last class, if you remember, right? After 10 again, same cycle. After 10, you have the same cycle, which is 11, 12, 13, 14, goes up to 1255. Then 20, 21, 22, 23 up to 2255. Then 30, 31, 32, 33 up to 3255. So we have learned that cycle in the last class. We have looked at the cycle in the last class. But new thing that I want to talk to you about today is this network and host portion. So as long as the host portion is changing in your IP addresses in Class C, what it indicates is each of these is an individual host in the same network. So the network portions indicate the name of the network. So this is the 192.168.0. network. Okay, network is a group of hosts. Okay, in this group of hosts, each of this is one individual host each. So this could be my router, this could be my laptop, this could be my smartphone, this could be my smartwatch, this could be my smart TV. So each of these is just an individual host in the same network, which means each of these can communicate with one another. They can send that data or packets to one another freely. But when the network portion changes, so let's say when the 0 changes to 1, the network divides over here, which means now this is the end of the network. This was the first IP in that network, the first host in the network, and this was the last host in that network. And after that begins the next network or the new network. So from 10 to 1255, this becomes your next network, where again you have all 256 devices again. Okay, from 0 to 255. So if you ignore the 0th IP, in general, what you can denote from this is in each Class C network, you can connect a maximum of 255 devices or 255 hosts. So the host portion indicates what host it is in the same network. So 192.168.0, which fall in the network portions, indicate the identity for the network, the group of hosts. And the host portion indicates the identity for the device or that individual or singular host. So this is the first host, second host, third host, fourth host, fifth host, and like that you can connect 255 hosts, which means you can connect 255 devices. And all of these devices will be in one single network. But when the network portion changes from 0 to 1, that ends the network there and starts the next network. So even if you bring this device 1.1 and connect it with a LAN cable to your router, it will still not be able to communicate. It still cannot transfer data to any of these devices, even though it is physically connected. Reason being, it is logically in a different group, in a different network. Is that clear for everyone? Amir, Kumar, Priyanka, Shikhar, Srinivas, what network portions mean and what host portions mean. Does anyone want me to repeat it, guys? Because again, this might be a bit complex. Do not hesitate to let me know. I can explain it as many times as you want. Okay, you're gonna pay the fees for the course, so it's my responsibility to see to it that you understand every single concept. Okay, do not hesitate to let me know. Priyanka, your mic's unmuted. Any questions?
Yes, sir. Please repeat.
Yes. Again, definitely, no problem. If you remember, Priyanka, in our first class, in our last class yesterday, we defined what is a network and a host, right? What is a host, Priyanka? A host is any individual information system. So your phone acts as a host, your router acts as another host, your laptop acts as another host. Okay, your smart TV can act as another host. Your Apple Watch can act as another host. So host is any individual information system. Is that clear? Is that definition clear, Priyanka? What a host is? Now, what is a network? A network is a group of hosts, which means a collection of devices which can communicate with one another. So it's like a group of devices who are friends with each other and they can talk to each other freely. Okay. Now, coming back to this logic, this classes. Okay. So in class C, the main property of class C is that it has 3 network portions and 1 host portion, which means it is limiting only 1 octet for the host. So in the class C, first private IP starts at 192.168.0.0. So when it says 3 network portions, what it means by that is first 3 portions are the identity for the network. So this is the name for your group of friends. Okay. And each of this is one individual person in that group. Okay, so this is the first person, this is the second person, the third person, fourth person, fifth person. So in your group, you can maximum allow only 255 people, not more than that. So even if you bring one more person from here, this guy will not be able to communicate with them because this guy belongs to a different group, the 192.168.1 dot group. Okay, so for these people to be friends, they have to belong to the same group. Okay, might seem a very racist thing to say, but anyways, these people will only communicate with other people who belong to the same community. You could say 192.168.0 dot community, and these people will only communicate with one another belonging to the same community, 192.168.1 dot community. Okay. So again, I hope I don't get cancelled or anything for these racist comments also. But again, just to make you understand, guys. So the network portion gives you the identity for the network, and the host portion tells you which host it is in that network. So this is the first host, the second host, third host, fourth host in the 192.168.0 network. So in each network, if you notice now, the 0 dot network or the 1 dot network or 2 dot network or 3 dot network, one thing you will commonly observe is in all of these networks, maximum devices you can connect is 255, not more than that. Okay, is that clear now, Priyanka? Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Right, Shikhar, no, Kumar, Amir. Any questions? Kumar, you were saying something.
Yes, no problem. Everything looks good. What about the 192.168.1.255? Which kind of address this will be? This will be public address, private address, or the broadcast address?
Whatever we are talking about here, all these IPs are private addresses only, Amir.
Okay.
So when you're talking about classes, network portions, host portions, all of this relates to private IPs only. Okay. Now, in this private IP range, I've not come to that point actually. 0.0 is always called the network ID.
Yeah, that's correct. But what I'm saying, when it is mentioned .255, it will be broadcast address. That's correct?
Broadcast ID. Definitely. This is called the broadcast IP.
Yes.
And a broadcast IP will never be assigned to any system. It is always left out, just like the network ID. Okay. Yes. Don't worry about all that, guys. Just again, for now, ignore all this. I'll talk about this later. Okay. So the usable line is from 0 to 1.
In 2001, these things, man. It's too old.
Definitely, but we are still using this even in today's world. So there are people who still do not know about this. And again, when you're in IT, this is one of the prerequisites to know about. Okay. So yeah, again, it's too old, but still, as mentioned, we are still using this in today's world. My system, which I bought recently, is still getting a private IP. Oh, and 1 second. Yeah, if I go to my command prompt and if I check my IP config, you can see I'm still getting 192.168.0.7. This concept was invented in 1950s. Okay, and yet we are still using it because it still works. It is still applicable for us. Okay, so again, might be old, but yeah, still applicable, still perfectly working fine. So people thought, okay, let it keep running. Why disturb it? Okay. So yeah, this is about again class C, guys. Now coming to class B, okay, where we are taking things slightly up a notch. Okay. So you have 2 network portions and 2 host portions now in class B. In class C, you only had 1 host portion, if you remember, which means you could only connect a maximum of 255 devices, not more than that. But when you come to class B now, it has 2 network portions and 2 host portions. So the first IP in class B, the first private IP starts at 172.16.00 as mentioned here, as you can see. So if that is the first IP, what's the next IP again? 01. Next IP 02. Next IP 03. Next IP 04. Goes all the way up to 0255. Now after that, it doesn't disconnect or differentiate the network, guys, because if you remember, you have 2 host portions here. So after 0255, you have 10. Network still doesn't change. Okay. In class C, network changed. When the 0 changed to 1, you can notice the network divided here because the third octet was network portion. But in class B, that does not happen. So when 0 changes to 1 here, network does not change. You have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 up to 1255. Then 2021, 2223 up to 2255. 3031, 3233 up to 3255. This goes on and on and on. And somewhere you'll have 172.16, 2550, 2551, 2552, 2553 up to 255, 255. Now after this point, these 255s become zeros and this 16 now changes to 70. So when this network portion now changes, so whenever the network portion changes, it means network divides over there. So this is the last IP in the 172.16 network. This is the first IP here and this is the last IP here. And how many devices can we connect, guys? From 00 to 255, 255. Since there are 2 octets, you can connect a total of 255 into 255 devices in each network. So now this group or this group of friends can host a more larger number of people. So in class C, your group contain only 255 people, not more than that. Okay, you cannot add another friend after that. Maximum you can add in that room is 255 people. But in this group of class B now, it's like a much larger circle, okay, a much larger room, which can accommodate more people, and it can accommodate approximately equal to 65525 devices. So sometimes you might have a possibility of a network where you need to connect more than 255 devices. In our home networks, in our Wi-Fi networks, we rarely connect 10 or 20 devices, guys. For that, class C is sufficient. But in multinational companies or in ISP networks, they might have 1,000 devices, 2,000 devices, or 500 devices to connect. In such a scenario, they can go for class B or class A. Okay, but in class B now, if you notice, since it has 2 host portions, you can connect a maximum of 255 into 255 devices, which is 65525. Is that clear, guys? Priyanka, Amir, Kumar, Shikhar, Srinivas. What's the difference between class C and class B? Priyanka, are you getting along? Any questions? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Right. Shikhar, Srinivas, Kumar, Amir. Okay, Kumar has no questions. Shikhar. Okay, Shikhar, no questions. Srinivas.
No questions.
Thank you very much, Shoaib. No question.
Perfect, guys. Finally, when we come to class A, you have 1 network portion and 3 host portions now. Now, same logic, guys. In class A, the first private IP starts at 10.0.0.0. So all the way from 10.0.0.0 up to 10.255, 255, 255, all these IPs will belong in the same network. As soon as 10 changes to 11, when the network portion changes, then the network divides over there. So now how many devices can you connect, guys? From 0.0.0, 3 host portions, up to 255, 255, 255. You can connect a maximum of 255 into 255 into 255 devices. And that's a much larger network or a much larger room compared to class B. So class B and class A both can be used for much larger networks, such as in multinational companies. Class C can be used for small networks, such as home purposes, small offices. And if you remember, my private IP belonged to class C. If I went to my command prompt and if I checked IP config, this was a class C IP because I don't have a necessity to connect more than 255 devices in my network. That's why I'm getting a class C private IP. And when you come to class D and class E, guys, these are special public IPs. There are no private IPs in them. These public IPs are used for special organizations such as research and development, military organizations, government portals, and for weather broadcasting services also. Class ABC public IPs are given for normal public to access the internet. But class D and class E public IPs are used for these purposes. Okay, is that clear? I hope there's no questions, guys. And again, this concludes our class for today. Nothing further. What we have learned today is the categorization of classes A, B, C, D, and E. We covered the ranges for each class, and we also learned what is the difference between each class. How are the private IPs different in class A from class B and class C? Okay. So again, I want to share this notes with all of you guys so that you can refer it again. And if you have any questions, you can let me know. So please drop your emails in the chat box so that I can share this notepad file to you over the email. So let me attach this in my email now very quickly. Please drop your emails, guys, in the chat box. I'll share this notes to you now. Shikhar, you have given 2 emails. Which one is the correct one? Okay. Right. Again, it's the same notes, guys, for the class yesterday and today as well. First class was demo. We had no notes for that. So I'm just sharing one notepad file here. Okay, it's the same notes which we have covered the topics from in the last class and in today's class as well. It's one single file. And the same notes will be used for tomorrow's class as well. It has the topics for the upcoming classes for subnet mask, DHCP protocol, DNS protocol, so and so. Okay. So the first 3 classes which will be taking it is the same notepad file. Okay. And I've just sent it to all of you. You must have received it by now on all these 4 email addresses. Did I miss out any email? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I did. I guess I've missed out one email. Srinivas, did I miss out your email?
No.
I think you missed out my email.
That's why my respect and my email.
Kumar Radhakrishnan. Oh, I guess Kumar's email is missed out. Yeah, guys. I'm so sorry for that, Kumar. Let me share it one more time just so that it's all in one place and I don't miss out emails again. Yeah. So yeah, that's it, guys. Nothing further for our class today. You can exit the session now, and I'll see you tomorrow at the same time, where we are going to learn some advanced concepts such as DHCP protocol, DNS protocol, subnet mask, okay, and what are some special IPs. So there's one more category called special IPs. We'll talk about those as well in the next class. Okay. So that's it. Nothing further. Good night, and I'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.